Well, it's been about 2 months into MLB The Show 20's release, and we have Mickey Mantle, the best card in the game that we'll have all year, very likely. So, I got him without any sort of flipping at all. I made less than 10,000 subs just by flipping in the market. A lot of people suggest to you in no money spent videos and stuff like that, they could spend time to flip, but I didn't do it. It wasn't for me. So, I'm gonna talk about how I made all these stubs, how we got Mickey Mantle, and how you guys can do the same for yourselves. Before we get into the video, I want to remind you guys very quickly, I stream on Twitch 3 to 4 times a week. If you have any sort of questions, link will be down there in the description. Check us out, come hang out with us. We play ranked seasons, anything on this game on the Twitch channel, so make sure to come hang out with us. Also, if you guys learned something new in this video, make sure to hit that like button. It helps the channel a lot more than you can think. We're gonna set a like goal of 25 likes. We're gonna try to see if we can reach that like goal. Also, we're on our way to 400 subscribers. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, keep up with all the no money spent, team builds, all the stuff that we're gonna do this year. So yeah, past all that stuff, we're gonna hop into the content now. How did we get Mickey Mantle without any sort of market flipping? So basically, I'm gonna separate this video into 3 separate parts. They're kind of 3 sort of steps, we could call them, to keep an eye out with being no money spent. All things that I try to focus on being a no money spent player. But basically, you want to try to not use players that you can sell on your squad. Only use players like live series players, players you can grind offline. So our first section here is how to build a good no money spent team. This is something that you kind of need, like we'll talk about later in this video, to compete in ranked seasons and events and stuff like that online. So basically what you want to do with building a good no money spent team, you want to try to fill out your team with live series players you're using for collections, or with players you can grind offline. Okay, this is my team that I use in ranked seasons right now. I just got Mickey, but these are all players that you can grind offline or you earn from collections, or are just collections players in general. None of these players are headliners or bosses in the market or anything like that. These are all players you earn by those avenues. So I'm gonna talk about how I built my team, the best ways you can fill out your team with great players on this game gradually, how to help yourself get a good team to help you play ranked seasons and events, which we'll talk about more later. So basically, in case you don't know, there's a lot of great ways to earn good diamond players to fill out your squad with. We have player programs here that come out each inning that are great starter cards. These guys like the Kerry Woods, Curtis Grandersons will help you fill out your squad off the start, fill out that starting lineup with diamond players. It'll help you fill out a lot of gaps. Also, this Jackie Robinson program is a little tedious, but you get a lot of great things out of this, great players. Basically, these player programs are great things to grind to help fill out your squad. You get these evolution players in the XP reward path, evolve them, and you get some of the best players in the game. Eddie Matthews, one of my best hitters all year. Dennis Eckersley is still in my pen. These players are players you have to grind for when you gotta fill out your squad. Maybe you don't need to do some of these guys I've completed, but these evolution cards will help you fill out a squad. Jackie Robinson will help you fill out a squad. Absolutely worth doing. Also, the monthly programs. We have 2 at this point in the year. I completed these for the players, and if you don't have many diamonds on your team, these guys help you fill out the rotation, your bench, starting lineup. Absolutely worth going for. Didi Gregorius is one of my favorite cards this year, hitting 348 with a very good card. These players are very good players to have. And if you have an all bronze, silver, gold team, you can fill out your teams with these players and have very competitive teams. Also, in case it wasn't obvious enough, you have the XP reward path here. You earn players like these classics players, you earn these legends that you can sell on the market, you earn these high diamonds. Basically, the XP reward path is your favorite tool to get the best players in the game. Every 100 levels you get a 99 overall. You get your evolution players here. These classics players help you fill out your squad. These silver and gold player packs are very much worth selling because you need those stubs to get collections done. So this is one of your best friends as being a no money spent player. Finally, honestly, the best players for no money spent are in here, the team affinity programs. If you're good at Showdown, grind out the Showdowns. I actually have a video on Showdown tips. You want to check that out up there. But in general, doing Showdowns, if you're good enough to do them, will help you complete player programs for guys like Bobby Dahlbeck. Completing these will help you fill out your squad in the starting rotation, in your bench, in your starting lineup, all that stuff that you need to fill out with good players. Stage 1 and Stage 2 have very good players, and you also get things like stubs and packs out of these, which help you as a no money spent player. So if you can grind these out and get a bunch of these players, you'll have a really good team. So to summarize, we talked about building a team very quickly. You have the team affinities, you have the XP reward path, you have your player programs, and you have your monthly programs. Those 4 things are all great ways to get players. The general theme about them is that you can't even sell those players anyway. You grind them offline. You don't need to be super amazing at the game to earn them. You just get them by playing the game, earning XP, earning program vouchers, stuff like that. They aren't impossible to earn. They're just time-consuming things for you to earn. While it may be nice to pop in ranked with an all gold or couple diamond squad, it's not going to help you that much because you run to teams that are better than yours, and that utterly is an issue for a lot of people. Not all of us are good enough to beat players with really good teams with our mediocre teams. So if you can get your team as good as you can through offline play, that'll help you tremendously. So segueing into our second part here, we're going to talk about what you should actually play to earn your players and make stubs. This is the part where you're going to make most of your stubs. Now you have a good team that you can use in online play. How are we going to earn a lot of these stubs? By playing ranked seasons in events and grinding the indie programs. Those 3 things are great things to help you make stubs. If you're good enough to make World Series and ranked seasons, grind out this mode, sell these choice pack players at the end. Right now, these guys make you around 100,000 stubs, which is a big chunk of your collections. And as the year goes on, these will get more and more expensive as they get better and better. So if you're good at ranked seasons, this is your best friend to making stubs right here. If you have a great team to use, try to make World Series. But obviously, not everyone can make World Series, and I completely understand that. And there's another way in this game to make stubs in a very similar fashion. In your events here, if you can grind out your events, get a cumulative wins, you can get players like this, like Eddie Murray, Shin-Soo Choo. They're kind of tempting to keep, but these add up. 22,000 stubs. 10,000 subs for Chew. Just in general, these players are great players to earn because they help you get those collections. You sell them, these guys are solid, but there are a lot of offline players that are better than this in those team affinities or in the XP reward path, so you don't even have to use these guys, just sell them for stubs. Also, we go to our inning programs here. These programs come out every so often. They come out usually once a month or so, once or twice a month. But you go to your bosses here. These guys are very valuable. Felix Hernandez sells for 100,000 stubs. Yeah, he's a 96 overall pitcher and a very good option for your starting rotation. Have a competitive team. You don't need him. You could just sell him for stubs, and if you get him very soon, you'll sell for around 100,000 stubs. Basically, these are 3 things that you want to try to push for. These will help you make most of your stubs if you go about this route. If you're trying to focus fully on collections, be the most efficient with your stubs, grind these offline players, and spend your stubs towards collections. Don't use those guys. Sometimes it's tempting, sometimes you have a favorite player, and you could get away with using them. There's no harm in doing that. But basically, if you want to be the most efficient with your stubs, make the most stubs, you want to grind these out as soon as possible. Right as a new ranked seasons drops, try to make World Series in the first week. Right as a new event drops, try to get the cumulative rewards in the first week. Right as a new boss program drops, grind that out within the first week and you'll get the most stubs. Just focus your efforts on that once you get a good enough team. And trust me, it'll help you a lot with making subs. That's how I made most of my subs, doing this, selling these rewards. And if you're not as good at one thing, focus on the other. If you don't have the time to sit down and grind the inning stuff and do things like March to October or games to grind out stars in the last portion of them, just hop in events and play events as soon as they come out. It's a very straightforward way to make those stubs. If you're good at ranked seasons, play ranked seasons. You get the most stubs from players by doing that. Especially if you get World Series early, you'll make a lot of stubs. And trust me, you don't need the best team in the world to make World Series. My team, this is the team I used in ranked this last season, and I've only had Sheffield and Mantle for the last day of games. I had Nolan Jones here at third base, and I had Christian Yelich in the outfield, guys that I earned through collections. So fill out your lineups with these guys that you earn offline or the players that you earn in collections anyway, and you'll have a really good team anyway. So finally, this is more of the nitpicky section. This is the more of the checkup kind of thing. Make sure you're not making the simple mistakes a lot of no money spent players do. You need to be smart on your stubs. That's part 3 of this video. Just being smart with your stubs. Basically, don't buy too many packs. Me telling you that might not make you do it, but basically you don't want to buy too many packs on here. There's nothing wrong with buying the occasional pack. I honestly suggest buying the occasional headliner, because sometimes you can get lucky and get a good pull. I made some stubs by pulling the Matt Kemp in the headliner. That was like 130,000 stubs for me. That helped tremendously. But obviously, this is a luck factor, but it's not worth spending all your stubs on packs. You only spend a small portion of them on it, and maybe you get lucky, but you don't have to do it. It's just not necessary. Spend those stubs on the players that you want to buy. It's not worth spending hundreds of thousands of stubs when you're not going to get any good pulls anyway. Also, another tidbit here is try to make some smart investments. This isn't really something that's time consuming. Basically, if you look at our monthly programs here, this has happened twice so far. In each monthly program, we've gotten flashbacks of players in years past, so people were able to find out who each player was kind of early. But even before the day of release, we find out what each stage of these monthly programs are. And each stage of these programs, you have this exchange mission where you exchange players who are on the same team as them or the same position as them. So for Tyler Glass now, who's a Rays starting pitcher, you exchange Rays and starting pitchers. So what we could do is, if you know which player is which the day before the program comes out, you buy players like Rays and starting pitchers. You go to your market here, and we go to our high silvers. These are the players that people buy when they're trying to make those exchanges. A lot of times, day one of these programs, people will try to buy these players to exchange for collections. You look on 525, that's when that program was released, at least I think, in that ballpark. Kenta Maeda here got up to 900 stubs. A lot of times these players get above 1,000 stubs when you're doing this. So if you can stack these silver players the day before, you can triple the amount of their value sometimes, depending on what kind of player it is, because people try to get these exchanges done. If you can make smart investments like this will help you very easily by not even playing the game. This is just a really snappy way. You don't have to sit in the market that long. Just hop on the market, buy a bunch of these players, dependent on the players, and just make those smart investments. Sell those the day one of the new monthly programs. You get a lot of stubs. Finally, you may or may not know of this, but you want to get some of these collections done. You go to your created player collections here. Even if you're not going for the created players, if you don't like using a cap on your squad, doing these collections, you're already filling these out by going for your live series collections. Do these, and these are just extra stubs. You can get yourself tens of thousands of stubs by just collecting these, and while you're already collecting them anyway. Really easy stubs that I don't know if everyone knows about, but is 100% worth doing. But to summarize what we said in this entire video, how I got Mickey Mantle without flipping. We built ourselves a team as the year went on with all players I was able to earn through playing offline that I can't sell anyway, that are very good. Then I have a good squad. I hop in ranked seasons, events, or I just grind out the inning programs with that squad, and I sell those players as soon as possible that you earn as rewards. Makes you most of, if not all of my stubs as a no money spent player, and helps tremendously if you're not going to spend the time in the market flipping. And we got Mantle within 2 months. Sometimes it takes people 5 months, sometimes it takes them to the last month of the year to do it. But if you're smart with your stubs, if you focus on doing this stuff each time a new ranked season, a new inning program, a new event drops, it'll only help you. So if you guys are committed to this game, you already played a bunch, this is a really easy way to make those stubs to get those collections done. Highly recommend doing it if you're a no money spent player. But yeah, so now that I finally had gotten this done, my squad is looking really, really good. Even though I don't have any bosses, any events rewards, anything like that. So 100%, this is a great method to making those stubs without flipping. But if you can flip, do it. But you don't have to. That's the message of this video. You do not have to flip to earn Mantle. You can just play the game, make your stubs that way in the most efficient way as possible. And this is basically the most efficient way to do it without flipping. There's nothing really else you can do to make stubs by selling players and stuff like that. But if you guys learned something new, again, make sure to like the video. I hope you guys can get Mantle. It really is easier than you would think. You just got to play the game, earn rewards, and sell them. It just may take longer if you can't make World Series or whatever the situation is. But it's really not impossible to get collections done. Some people get overwhelmed by it and don't bother at all. But I'm telling you, you can do it. I have faith in you. You can make these collections, okay? I can believe in you. But I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be doing more about this team. No money spent, stuff like that throughout the year. So make sure you subscribe to keep up with the channel. Have a fantastic day. I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces. Oh my God, the ball's hit the center. Is that landing?
The inning's over. That is a Rawlings web gem. With 9.5 innings.
Oh my God, is that finding grass? That is. Are they going to send a runner? They do. There's going to be a play at the plate. And he's out of there.
Is over.
Stupid base running. It's going to cost them a run.